Chennedy Carter is catching heat once again after brushing off her controversial hit on Caitlyn Clark as just a little tap. But fans aren't fooled. The footage tells a different story. While Carter scrambles to justify her actions, Clark continues to rise above the noise, letting her performance speak volumes. This moment isn't just about one foul, it's about rivalry, accountability, and the pressure that comes with greatness. Let's dive in.
Carter has always been kind of up against the fence when we're speaking about this Caitlyn Clark situation.
So I'm just like, it's like one of those things, like, it happens in basketball. I know people try to say, oh.
Do I think she screwed up with the hip check? Yeah, of course. Do I think she has been a not great teammate in the WNBA? Yeah, of course. But is she fun as hell to watch play basketball?
The sports world watched in disbelief as Chennedy Carter finally broke her silence about the brutal hit on Caitlyn Clark. But instead of owning the moment, she doubled down. Rather than expressing regret or taking accountability for what many saw as a blatant cheap shot, Carter stood firm in her stance, defending the very behavior that sent shockwaves across the league. The backlash wasn't just about a single play. It was about what it represented, a moment when competition seemingly crossed the line into something personal. Yet in the face of mounting criticism, Carter chose not reflection, but justification, further fanning the flames of a controversy that had already ignited fierce debate across fan bases and media alike.
Like, I don't think there's no justification for that. Like, to be honest, I don't think it was she went down the game saying she was going to do that, but come on, it was a little bit worse. Like, it was a much harder hit than she's talking about.
While Carter scrambled to justify her actions in the court of public opinion, Caitlyn Clark stood silent, but not subdued. She didn't lash out. She didn't fire back. Instead, she did what she's done all season. She laced up, locked in, and let her game speak louder than any interview or viral clip could. No trash talk, no retaliation, just buckets. Through all the noise, Clark's composure never cracked. Her focus never wavered. In fact, the more chaos swirled around her, the more composed she became, draining shots with icy precision, running the floor with grace, and showing the world that the loudest statement she could make wasn't in words, but in winning.
People want to portray and paint the narrative that there are racial tensions in the WNBA as a result of Caitlyn Clark. I would say that's their own problem. I think Caitlyn Clark is doing the right thing, rising above all of the crap that she's had to endure. The amount of fouls committed on Caitlyn Clark higher than any other player, flagrant fouls committed on Caitlyn Clark higher than any other player. Caitlyn Clark was worried about playing the game, and that is why she got Rookie of the Year. She was not worried about the BS.
What looked like a single cheap shot on the surface carried with it the weight of something far deeper. That shoulder check wasn't just a physical blow. It symbolized a brewing undercurrent of jealousy, rivalry, and resistance aimed squarely at Caitlyn Clark. Her rapid rise, her record-breaking rookie season, her media magnetism, it all made her a target. Not just on the scoreboard, but in the narrative. And yet, through it all, she never cracked. With each passing game, she elevated not only her team, but the league around her. This wasn't just about one foul or one player. It was about how we treat greatness when it doesn't look or sound like what we expected. Caitlyn's response, grace under pressure, dominance without drama, served as a reminder that talent alone doesn't define legends. Resilience does.
She still is not taking responsibility for her actions. She's finna blame this whole situation on Caitlyn Clark supposedly talking smack to her. This is crazy, man. Let's get back to it.
It was a standard fast break, or at least, it was supposed to be. Caitlyn Clark was moving across the court, eyes up, reading the floor, orchestrating another play. Then, without warning, Chennedy Carter slammed into her from behind. No ball in sight. No defensive coverage in motion. Just a full-body check that left the crowd gasping and the league stunned. It wasn't hustle. It wasn't heat of the moment. It was premeditated contact designed to send a message, one that echoed louder than any scoreboard. In that split second, the game stopped being about strategy and became a statement of aggression. Yet even in the jarring moment, Caitlyn Clark didn't flinch, she just got back up and kept playing.
Rookie and making history. And so I understand her point of view. She wants to probably let other athletes shine. And she also says, like, it's earned, not given. There are other people that can use that spotlight to compete as well.
Who's going to be the next face of the NBA? We don't get to decide that. The marketplace decides that. The people have chosen Caitlyn.
We are witnessing the dawn of a new era, and her name is Caitlyn Clark. The rookie sensation isn't just making waves. She's redefining the entire current of the WNBA. Every dribble, every pass, every no-look three tells the story of a generational talent stepping into her moment. Defenders are scrambling. Fans are flocking. TV ratings are surging. And it's no accident. Clark is not just playing basketball, she's transforming it. She's become the focal point of every scouting report and the heartbeat of an entire fan base. In a league that has long awaited its next transcendent superstar, Caitlyn Clark has arrived, and she's only getting started.
She's doing wrong. What more do you want from Caitlyn Clark? Seriously, what more do you want from her? She's focusing on the game. She lifted her team up, got them to the playoffs, won Rookie of the Year, and then also is denouncing racial tensions when she's asked about it.
That wasn't basketball. That wasn't defense. That wasn't heat of the moment, physical playoff energy. What we witnessed from Chennedy Carter was something far more deliberate, a blatant, off-ball cheap shot aimed directly at Caitlyn Clark. And it wasn't subtle. It wasn't strategic. It wasn't strong. It was loud, messy, and reeked of frustration. That hit wasn't about the scoreboard. It was about sending a message. And unfortunately for Carter, the only message it sent was this: I can't stop her, so I'll try to rattle her. But here's the twist, it didn't work. Not even close. Because Caitlyn Clark, the rookie with the weight of a league on her shoulders, responded not with anger or retaliation, but with the coldest answer in sports: calmness, precision, class. She didn't jaw back. She didn't point fingers. She didn't fall apart. She got up, dusted herself off, and kept hooping like nothing happened. And just like that, the moment meant to derail her became the very thing that elevated her. That's what makes this so powerful. That's what draws millions of fans to her. It's not just the logo threes, the Steph Curry comparisons, the flashy no-looks, or the full-court IQ. It's the unshakable presence she carries in the face of chaos. Caitlyn Clark is not just entertaining, she's compelling. Every game she plays feels like must-see television. Whether you love her or love to hate her, you watch. And you know who benefits? The entire WNBA. When fans show up for Clark, they stay for the rest of the league. Players like Aya Wilson, Kelsey Plum, and Sabrina Ionescu, they all get more eyeballs. More media coverage. Bigger crowds. Better opportunities. It's a ripple effect that's reshaping the league in real time. And let's not pretend otherwise. If the NBA were smart, they'd already be selling a second-tier TV rights package, the Caitlyn Clark Experience. A dedicated broadcast deal just for her games. Because right now, she is the WNBA's biggest draw, and it's not even close. Now, let's be honest about what actually happened on that court. This wasn't a flagrant foul in the middle of a play. This wasn't a hard contest at the rim. This was Carter, in full view of the world, lining up Clark from behind and leveling her without the ball anywhere near the action. No warning, no trash talk, no visible provocation, just a blindside hit that had nothing to do with basketball. If the roles had been flipped, if Caitlyn Clark had thrown that same hit on Chennedy Carter, you already know what the headlines would read. Disgrace to the league, dirty play, suspension incoming. The double standard is plain as day, and it's exhausting. But even more impressive is how Clark didn't lean on that narrative. She didn't call for sympathy or rage. She let her jumper do the talking. The next few possessions told the real story. Caitlyn burying shots, hitting her teammates in stride, moving with poise while the internet exploded over the hit. While everyone else was busy reacting, she was responding. And not with words, with game. Because that's how you lead. That's how you shift a moment of controversy into a platform for dominance. Clark turned what should have been a distraction into a declaration. You can try to knock me down, but I'm still the one you can't stop. Then came the Carter response, and what a mess it was. Instead of stepping up, owning the action, and taking responsibility, Chennedy Carter gave us a foggy, disjointed explanation. I think maybe someone elbowed me, maybe someone said something. I hit a shot and gave a little, I'm here message. It was the type of vague backpedaling that only adds fuel to the fire. She never named Caitlyn, never apologized. Just danced around the subject like it wasn't plain as day on video replay. Let's not be fooled. There was no escalating beef. No verbal sparring match. Clark didn't even speak to her. The footage is crystal clear. Carter lowered her shoulder and threw it into the back of the league's most high-profile player, completely unprovoked. And yet again, Clark didn't fall for the bait. She didn't cry foul. She didn't fold. She just got back to playing, doing what she's done since the moment she entered the WNBA, raised the bar. She continues to play with the same fire, the same fearlessness, and the same cool composure that's made her a phenomenon. And that's why this wasn't just another play. It was a pivotal moment in a much larger story. Because Caitlyn Clark isn't just playing in the WNBA, she's actively reshaping it. She's changing how people watch, how people talk, and how people value women's basketball. And yes, the WNBA was growing before she arrived. That's true. But let's not pretend her arrival hasn't been a turning point. The numbers, the media attention, the cultural reach, all of it has exploded. Caitlyn didn't invent the WNBA's potential. She simply unlocked it. The WNBA had been growing before Caitlyn Clark showed up, but let's not kid ourselves. It was growing slowly, gradually. A steady climb, sure, but not a breakthrough. What we're seeing now, this is a surge, a tidal wave, the kind of growth that doesn't just change numbers. It shifts the entire conversation around women's sports. I remember when the WNBA was first born. I was ecstatic. As a 5 feet 2 inches, 97-pound girl, I knew I'd probably never make it. But that didn't matter. Just knowing it existed meant the world to me. It made my dream feel possible. And now, Caitlyn Clark is turning that distant possibility into a living, breathing reality. Not just for girls like me once upon a time, but for everyone. Little boys are buying her jersey. Families are piling into arenas. She's pulled in a fan base that spans age, gender, geography, and generation. She's redefined who watches the WNBA and why, which is exactly why Chennedy Carter's actions and her bizarre attempt to write them off as just a little tap feels so off base, so dismissive, and frankly, so insulting. A little tap? You call that a tap? Caitlyn Clark fell to the ground. The crowd erupted in boos. The incident was reviewed by league officials. It made national headlines within hours. That's not a tap. That's a moment. That's a decision that has consequences. And yet, Carter wants to act like the whole thing was just a blip, like we all imagined it. Then comes her explanation, if you can call it that. Carter brushed it off, saying trolls were just waiting to pick her apart, as if criticism magically appeared out of nowhere. She described the hit as a gentle nudge, just a physical way to announce her presence. It wasn't to hurt anyone, she claimed. But if you've ever played the game, you know the difference between basketball contact and blatant aggression. That wasn't basketball. That was frustration, dressed up as competitiveness. And then, to justify it, she reaches for NBA comparisons. She talks about LeBron James getting shoved out of bounds by guys who couldn't guard him, as if that somehow makes it okay. But what she fails to mention is that those moments happened during live play in the heat of the game. What she did to Caitlyn Clark came after the whistle. The play was over. It wasn't competition, it was personal. And that makes it different in every way that matters. She even said she and her brother went back and watched NBA clips together, like that somehow validates her mindset. But all this shows is she was looking for an excuse. She wasn't looking for understanding. She wasn't reflecting. She was just trying to spin it. And spinning isn't the same as owning it. No ball, no hustle play. Just a moment of misplaced aggression, followed by a string of excuses dressed up as explanation. That's not leadership. That's not accountability. And it's definitely not the maturity the WNBA demands from its athletes. Even in her interview afterward, you could feel the deflection. There was no apology, no recognition that she crossed a line, just a casual tone, a PR-sounding justification, like she was more annoyed at being called out than regretful for her actions. It felt like a crisis control session, not a moment of clarity. And it came at a crucial time, right before training camp. Coincidence? Not likely. The reality is this: Chennedy Carter is not on a WNBA roster. And for a player of her skill, that says everything. It's not about talent. It's about trust. Teams, coaches, front offices, they talk. They notice. And clearly, something about Carter's attitude, her approach, her inability to take ownership, it's made teams hesitate. Because there's no doubt she can play. She's good. But in this league, being good isn't enough. You need to fit. You need to be reliable. And right now, Carter doesn't pass that test. I want to see her back. Truly. I want to see her tap into her full potential, channel that fire the right way, and let her play do the talking. But she hasn't shown she's ready for that. Not yet. And this incident? This goes beyond a single foul. This is about what happens when the spotlight hits. How do you respond when the world is watching? Caitlyn Clark's had plenty of reasons to lash out. She's taken hits, literally and figuratively. But you won't find her ranting online, clapping back, or playing victim. She just shows up, night after night, and performs. She lets the box score speak for her. That's why she's earning the respect of millions. Carter, on the other hand, keeps talking, but none of it lands. Because it's all surface, all noise, no substance. Meanwhile, Clark's impact is impossible to ignore. You've got kids crying tears of joy because she signed their jersey. Fans screaming her name like she's Taylor Swift. One girl literally said, "This is the best day of my life." And she meant it. This is year 2. And somehow, the Caitlyn Clark effect is even louder, even bigger. She's not just helping the WNBA. She's helping the entire ecosystem of women's sports. Every sold-out arena, every viral highlight, every time a young fan stays up late to catch her play, that's progress. That's power. That's impact. The Indiana Fever, once an afterthought, are now the team to watch. All eyes are on them. Ticket sales are booming. Merchandise is flying. And it all leads back to Caitlyn. She didn't demand the spotlight. She earned it. And in doing so, she's lifted the league with her. So when Carter tries to explain the unexplainable, to rationalize what was clearly irrational, it only highlights the difference between the two. One plays with poise. The other lashes out and spins stories after the fact. One owns the moment. The other shrinks from it. Chennedy Carter's actions, though seemingly small in the moment, inadvertently revealed a significant truth. This was not Caitlyn Clark's vulnerability exposed, but rather a spotlight on Carter's own shortcomings. While Chennedy scrambles to justify her actions and deflect blame, Caitlyn remains steadfast, her game continually rising to new heights. Each time she steps on the court, Caitlyn Clark shows exactly why she isn't simply a glimpse into the future of the WNBA. She is the future, and the future is now. Every dribble, every pass, every shot reinforces her place not just as an elite athlete, but as a transformative figure in the world of women's basketball. But let's take a step back and consider the moment that shifted everything. It wasn't just an ordinary basketball game. It was a defining moment, not just for Caitlyn Clark, but for the WNBA as a whole. While Chennedy Carter finds herself scrambling to clarify her actions, Caitlyn Clark, ever composed, is on a different trajectory entirely. She's not only playing the game, she's redefining it. Each match she plays, each possession she owns, Caitlyn not only demonstrates her immense skill but proves, time and time again, that she is not just the future of women's basketball. She is the present force that will shape its future. As Chennedy struggles to explain herself and justify her actions, Caitlyn Clark is doing what she does best, rising above the noise and continuing to dominate on the court. The question for Caitlyn Clark is no longer whether she will succeed in the WNBA. It's how much she will continue to revolutionize it. What's next for Caitlyn? The transition from college to professional basketball is never easy, but for Caitlyn, it's about much more than adjusting to a new level of play. It's about stepping into adulthood, becoming a leader, and navigating the complexities of a career where the spotlight grows brighter with every victory. The challenges she faces now are not just about basketball. They're about leadership, maturity, and growth. In this new chapter, Caitlyn's journey will be marked by the question of how she can become an even stronger leader, a leader who listens, learns, and continues to evolve. Leadership is not just about being a vocal presence. It's about connecting with those around you, veterans, coaches, teammates, and drawing wisdom from every interaction. Caitlyn Clark understands that this is an essential part of becoming the best, and she's already on that path. She's shown time and time again that leadership is not just about commanding respect on the court. It's about inspiring others to rise with you. Caitlyn embodies this, not through grandiose speeches or self-promotion, but through the quiet power of her actions. With every game, she's proving that she is not only a player of exceptional skill, but a leader who is setting the stage for the WNBA's next great era. Caitlyn's basketball IQ is something that can't be learned. It's innate. Her vision on the court is unmatched, and her ability to make lightning-quick decisions with such precision is a rarity in today's game. Her shooting range is so lethal, it feels like she can score from anywhere. What sets her apart, however, is not just her technical abilities, it's her mental toughness. She's not simply putting up points. She's altering the very fabric of women's basketball, making the game more accessible, more exciting, and more inspiring to a whole new generation of fans and players alike. She's bringing millions of new eyes to the WNBA, changing the way we think about women's sports, and doing it all with a level of poise and grace that has captivated audiences. Caitlyn Clark is not just rewriting the record books, she's shattering them. With each game, her list of records grows longer and more impressive. The most points by a rookie guard in a season. The most double-doubles by a rookie in WNBA history. The most assists by a rookie in a single season. The first rookie to record 2 triple-doubles. The first triple-double in Fever history. The first player to be named both WNBA Player of the Month and Rookie of the Month in the same month. The first player in WNBA history to have 20 or more points, 15 or more assists, and 5 or more rebounds in a single game. The list goes on and on, each record a testament to her relentless work ethic and unyielding drive to be the best. Her records are not just milestones, they are proof of her ability to defy expectations and leave her mark on history. But while Caitlyn Clark's accomplishments are undeniably impressive, the question remains, how much of this success can be attributed to the support of her teammates? After all, no player achieves greatness alone, right? This is where Caitlyn's story diverges from that of others. While many players throughout history have needed strong supporting casts to achieve their goals, Caitlyn Clark is proving that she can lead on her own. Her talent is undeniable, but what truly sets her apart is her ability to make those around her better, to elevate her teammates even as she sets new records. People may point to LeBron James, Michael Jordan, or other all-time greats and say they needed help, but Caitlyn Clark is proving that, in her case, help is optional. She is more than capable of achieving greatness on her own, and she's doing just that. On the flip side, Chennedy Carter's trajectory paints a very different picture. Although she is undoubtedly one of the most electrifying players in the league, her current absence from a WNBA roster speaks volumes. It's not her talent that's in question. Carter's skill has never been the issue. The real problem lies in the trust factor. Teams across the league are aware of the headlines, the drama, and the recurring patterns of instability that have followed Carter throughout her career. Whether it was her time in Atlanta, her brief stint with the LA Sparks, or her short-lived stay with the Chicago Sky, the common thread is clear. Carter has struggled to maintain the consistency and reliability that franchises demand from their players. In the world of professional sports, talent alone isn't enough. Teams need players they can depend on, and right now, that's where Carter falls short. The incident that occurred, which Carter deemed insignificant, has now become a symbol of her inability to shoulder the responsibility of leadership. What she saw as a normal basketball exchange has come to represent why franchises hesitate to invest in her future. It's a cautionary tale, one that illustrates the difference between those who can handle the pressure of the spotlight and those who buckle under it. And while Carter continues to justify her actions, Caitlyn Clark stands tall, unwavering in the face of adversity. She didn't let the controversy define her. Instead, she used it as fuel to continue excelling. Caitlyn Clark's ability to rise